Greetings everyone. In this short video discussion I will be covering the topic of indoctrination versus intelligence. Indoctrination is a word that refers to practices where there's an attempt to inculcate people with a particular belief or particular idea, to influence their worldview in some way, and that indoctrination does not encourage the person to use their own critical thinking, to use their own skepticism. It really just encourages people to accept what some external authority is presenting to them as an alleged truth. Religions tend to use indoctrination a lot, different cultish beliefs. Even in the educational system, whether it's in science or some other field, there's some level of indoctrination involved where you're being taught or given a certain body of knowledge or information which is represented to you as established fact, when in reality it may be very much open to some type of rebuttal or some type of criticism. The word intelligence is something that's even more complex to define. There are many aspects to intelligence. In general, intelligence is something that is used to refer to the ability to process information, to be able to learn and gain understanding about things. In the fields of education and psychology, there have been multiple forms or aspects of intelligence that people have identified or referred to. Some forms of intelligence relate more to our creativity or intuition. Others relate to our ability to use memory, to connect, to organize and assemble information. Intelligence is something that we all have. We haven't all necessarily developed or mastered all the different aspects of intelligence. However, we are all beings who use intelligence to deal with our environment, to make choices in our lives. Intelligence, in a sense, defines us as sentient beings. If we had no intelligence, no capacity to process information, to learn, to expand our understanding, then we wouldn't really think of ourselves as sentient. We would be more akin to some type of programmed being, some type of computer or robot. Now, as we go about our lives, we often are encountering different forms of indoctrination that are designed to imprint upon us certain belief systems, certain ideas, certain ways of looking at the world. We are very vulnerable to those forms of indoctrination if we haven't developed the inclination to use our critical thinking, to use our logic and intuition, to use our own intelligence. The more we use our own intelligence, the more we can build our own understanding without relying on some external supposed authority telling us what we are supposedly going to believe or think. In different areas of education, from the very earliest grades up through advanced college courses and curricula, we can look and see to what extent education is focused on developing intelligence, on building the person's thinking skills, their interest in self-discovery, in learning things, versus teaching them to accept certain things as true, teaching them to conform to existing worldviews, existing dogmas or belief systems. For those of you that are looking to expand your consciousness, to grow spiritually, to become more mature psychologically, I would invite and encourage you to develop your intelligence in its many different aspects, to not be dependent upon external authorities to tell you what to think or believe, to be willing to question even things that you have previously accepted as true, beliefs that you have held for a long time. The more information that we can access, the more power we have to see a bigger picture of reality, to understand things more fully and deeply. Whatever understanding we have is based upon our existing memories, our experiences, whatever data or information we have had access to. And that is never confined to its present state. We can always gain more information, more experience, and so on. Therefore, it's important to be able to be open-minded in the sense of being willing to expand our perspective, being willing to use our intelligence, our reasoning abilities, our critical thinking, and to question whatever is presented to us from external sources, to not merely assume that just because many other people believe something that it's necessarily true, not to assume that because certain people with advanced educational degrees or titles, or people who have had many years of experience in a particular career, in a particular field of knowledge, we can't assume that they're always right. They may have a lot of experience, they may have studied a lot, but they could also be incorrect on things. In fact, if they have gone through a system of indoctrination, they may have been presented with a lot of information, they may have been taught a lot of things that merely gave them the illusion of knowledge, while some of that information, or much of it, could have been false or misleading. It's in that way that distorted beliefs and ideas are often perpetuated in a society. People believe that the things they're taught are true, and then they pass that on to another generation who also accept it as true. And that continues until there are people who actually use their own intelligence more to challenge the existing paradigms, the existing belief systems. If we look back through history, we can find many examples where the existing paradigm was something that many people very strongly fought to sustain, to perpetuate. And anyone who would question that would be looked upon as having some type of psychological imbalance or something wrong with them, when in fact they were actually using their own reasoning, their own intellectual capacity to seek a greater truth than what people had previously believed. Therefore, we have to not be afraid to be looked down upon or to be challenged or demeaned in some way for seeking to question existing ideas. Those people historically who have been willing to question what most other people believed have been the pioneers and innovators who have really led to a lot of progress in the course of human history. And if we want to really progress and evolve further, we need to be willing to have the courage to question things, to not merely conform to gain the approval of the existing power structure, the existing authorities on things. We have to be willing to be ridiculed, to be opposed, in some cases, if we're going to expand our understanding and to speak up about that. And so to summarize this discussion of indoctrination versus intelligence, we can see that indoctrination is a method or tactic used to perpetuate existing ideas and beliefs, whereas our intelligence gives us the capacity to go beyond what we may have previously thought or understood, to continue to expand our understanding, to expand our knowledge and awareness. It would be helpful for all of us to take some time and apply some effort to really fully develop our critical thinking, our creative thinking, our intuition, all these different aspects of intelligence that can help us expand our awareness. I appreciate each of you for taking your time to watch this video, and I invite each of you to view more of my YouTube videos, as well as to visit my website and Facebook page to explore more about topics of spirituality and personal development, as well as holistic health and healing. My website is www.phinsights.com, and you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Jedi Holistic Healing. I would like to wish everyone a wonderful day. Namaste.